The high temperature for today will be minus 41 degrees, and the low will be negative 43.
Warm.
Warm. Okay.
My name is Elena and I live in Yakutsk, the coldest place. Yes, worldwide, it is known as the coldest place on earth where people actually live. When people say that it is cold, normally what we Yakutians do is we smile.
1, 2, 3. ये हालत हुई है 3 मिनट में। ये इतनी ठंड है यहाँ पे। After what temperature you think it is cold? After
Well, I mean, it depends. A lot of people say that it's freezing cold. Okay, I can tell you a little story. Here in Yakutsk, it gets really cold. At some point, there was temperature like below 80 something degrees, which was like I'm sorry, minus 72 degrees centigrade, back in like 80s or something. And people say that it's freezing and that they cannot imagine living in such conditions, but actually it's not that bad. I mean, we have heated everything, like even bus stops, not all of them, but most of them, they have like a place where you can go in, the cars, inside the cars, the houses, like everything is heated, all the public places are heated. So you don't actually feel the cold. Yes, it's freezing cold if you stay outside for long, but you need to be ready and get dressed. And then when you're born in conditions like that, it's okay, because you just get used to it and you don't consider it as cold. When I lived in England, however, it was freezing cold because they had no heating on, and it was minus 10 or 15 at that time. And I remember asking my host parents to constantly switch on the heating. They ended up giving me like a little heater, and they were laughing at me like, you come from the coldest place. And I'm like, yeah, but everything is warm in the place where I live, and here it's like freezing cold. The same temperature outside is what you get inside.
How about children? Do you go to school like at what temperature?
If it gets minus 45, primary school students don't go to school, pupils. And then if it gets above 47, 48, then like secondary school don't go. Kindergarten though, it works, and all the babies still have to go to kindergarten.
At minus 50 degrees?
No matter what, yeah, minus 50, minus 55, whatever. Because parents still have to go to work.
Can you imagine summer the whole year?
Summer? To be hot the whole year round?
Yeah.
No. In Yakutia, it's amazing because you have summer, autumn, spring, and winter. You have all 4 seasons that are really distinct, and that's what I like about it. And been to places where you can't really tell the difference, where it's like raining and then it's snowing and then it's getting warm again. It's not something that I would like.
How is life in Yakutsk? So different from other cities in the world, or is like?
Of course it is. It's very, very different. It's a very interesting question because I have lived abroad, and it is very different. And before, I used to think that living in Yakutsk or Yakutia in general is hard. I don't think that anymore because I just feel like I've grown to understand and love the place where I live, and I don't think there is any other place like that in the world. I mean, everybody says that about their places where they are born and where they were born. But I truly believe that Yakutsk is a very special place. And a lot of people that I've met who came from different countries, they tend to come back because they say it's a very unique place. And people, despite the climate, people are really warm, despite the freezing temperatures.
Yeah, that's true actually.
Yes,
I've
very
seen this.
hospitable and very
Yeah.
welcoming.
I've seen this.
We Sakha people believe in spirits, so we have spirits of hunting, water, earth, fire, and they're like many others, and they're very important to us, and you have to kind of feed the spirits. But we have Orthodox and Christian. The majority of people who live in Yakutia, I'm not talking about Sakha people, just we have more than, I don't know, 20 different nationalities living in Yakutia alone, and all of them have different religions, and the majority is Christian. Sakha is the name for us in our native language, which is Sakha. And Yakutia came mostly from Russia, let's say. It's like a Russian version of Sakha, let's say.
Okay.
And Russian people, yeah, they are two different, completely different nations. We do consider ourselves Russian, though, in terms of like we live on the territory of the Russian Federation. We have Russian passports, but we are not Russian, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
We are Sakha people living on the territory of Russian Federation. We have Russian passports, but nobody considers us Russians, and people get really weird when they realize that we are actually Russian. Culture. What about culture? I have my instrument with me.
Oh, really?
Yes, I carry it with me all the time.
Oh, that's great. We can do that.
Shall I get it?
Yeah, sure.
Where's my bag? We have our national instrument, which is called homus. Actually, this instrument exists in many countries, and we have the only museum in the world of this instrument that is called Homus Museum.
Okay.
And my late father used to be the director. He was the director of the museum. Sadly, he passed away 3 years ago. And he has always been saying things like, all people of Yakutia should be carrying this instrument with them, and that is the instrument I take with me at all times. And like now, people wouldn't expect me to have it with me, but it's the first thing I take with me.
Okay.
Our culture is very rich in terms of like we have certain throat singing and national instrument, like I said before, beautiful clothes, jewelry, certain like dances, and especially cuisine is amazing. A lot of raw meat, I would say, and also like symbols and spirits and all of that. I mean, it's a very, very rich culture. And